Good luck.
Fucking thing sucks.
All right, it is broadcasting live. I'm going to post it on the channel, and cool thing is I can screen share. We can also watch YouTube videos together on this puppy. So if there's any like videos we want to talk about regarding all this stuff, I mostly want to open it up with some questions for you, Craig, because I have plenty of questions for you. Not like where were you on the 25th of April kind of questions, you know, but much better questions than that. For the most part.
Okay.
It's pretty much just the basic stuff, the stuff that I don't know, and I don't know if anybody else on the channel knows, or on the thing knows. The thing is, I can screen share. We can also watch YouTube videos together on this puppy. So if there's any like, oh, you're watching that? I can hear you watching it now. All this stuff. Mostly want to open it up with some questions for you, Craig, because I have plenty of questions for you, not like where were you on the 25th of April kind of questions, you know. But much better questions. Who's watching this live on the fucking stream? It's pretty much just basic stuff that I don't know, and I don't know if anybody else knows. Damn it, Glebs. I can screen share. We can also watch YouTube videos. Turn that shit off. I don't want to hear myself. I can hear you watching it. All this stuff. Mostly what. Okay, what was it doing? All right. Jack will be joining us shortly.
Oh wait, we doing cams? Give me a minute.
If you're cool with that.
I'm cool with it. I just don't like wearing clothes in my own apartment.
Fair enough.
Yeah?
Do you have clothes Japanese style futonza?
No. They're not inflatable mattresses.
It has like a. It looks like it has a pump.
No, you shouldn't have to.
Do you have drunk people in your apartment?
No, this is my mom. I'm 20 years old, and my mom is asking me about a Japanese futon because I suggested we buy one.
Got it.
Yeah.
Japanese futons. Hey everyone, listen, we'll be talking about SJWs and stuff. Listen in, and if you really want to join.
I'll be back in like 2 minutes. I'm gonna get dressed and.
Yeah, you put on your fucking clothes, jerk. God, you're gonna trigger me with all your nudity. Jesus. Fucking nudity. Alright, so, alright, we do have one whole viewer. I'm guessing that's you, Glebs, watching us.
I've already switched it off. But,
oh, okay.
Is there a link I can share with some people who want to?
Oh yeah. Well, I posted it on the site. But then you can share that link, the one on the website. Anyways, since we're kind of opening it up officially, I'd like to start. Craig, what inspired you to start this thing?
What, the group?
Yeah, the group. Yeah, sorry.
Well, a group of us were in a group called Anti-Atheism Plus, and if you know anything about Anti-Atheism Plus, it's about a load of SJWs in the online atheist community. And a load of comments were just not directly related to them and more a wider field of SJWs, and it just felt like it was just a bit off topic. You know what I'm like with things being on and off topic.
Off topic. Sorry, you know I had to let you. It's kind of.
So I thought it was better to create a group that is dedicated just to SJWs rather than the specific ones than Anti-Atheism Plus. So
fair enough.
The group was born.
That makes sense. So, and I mean, like, most of the people you added originally, because I mean, it's a pretty fairly big sized group now. I mean, it's not super huge. What's the membership at? Almost 2,000. That's pretty good.
To 2,000.
Yeah, it's almost 2,000. So did a lot of those just come from the Atheism Plus group there? Or?
Originally, I mean, it was about 50 users for quite a while. It was quite a slow grow to start with. I think it was the whole Gamergate thing when it really took off, and lots more people.
Wow, so it's been around that long.
10 months, I think. Yeah.
Oh shit! All right. Yeah. Glebs, when did you join the group?
It was pretty early.
Really?
I think when I first saw you announce the group, I joined as soon as I saw it because well, I saw too that the Anti-Atheism Plus group was outgrowing itself. Most of the discussions had nothing to do with the Atheism Plus thing, and Atheism Plus was dying down. So.
Yeah. So.
Well, gosh, you're pretty much there from the start because I made you an admin almost immediately it was created.
Yeah.
I grew fond of you in the original group. I thought, yeah, I like this guy.
Glebs is yeah. I mean, between you and Glebs, you guys are some of my favorites. There's some of those guys on there who are. I mean, not I have nothing against different political ideologies, but there's some people who take it to like the conservative extreme. You know what I'm talking about, Craig, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you see those guys? They're like.
Yeah, but as long as they're anti-SJW, it doesn't matter what branch. I mean, I might hate their politics, but they're against social justice warriors, so hey, they're welcome.
Yeah, no, I mean, people. That's often a big defense I hear against people who, when they hear that I'm against like that kind of thing, but I'm more of a progressive person. They're like, well, don't you know that like extreme conservatives are all over that? It's like, we can agree on things and both be right sometimes. Like, they're assholes.
I do think the reason for that is people hear like anti-SJW, and the most anti-SJW like places on the internet are generally places like 4chan poll.
Yeah.
People come in with an expectation like, oh, I can say whatever crazy shit I want here, and I won't be, vilified for it. But like, no, if you're going to say the Holocaust never happened, someone's going to point out that you're an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, there's different limitations, and in the group, I mean, what's great is that you let everybody talk freely, even if it does get off topic. As much as I'm sure it must piss you off on the inside, like sometimes I could just imagine you seething with pain. When it,
No, I don't, Steve. I honestly don't. I get tired of some of the stuff, but I don't get really angry or.
That's good. All right.
No, never.
Really? All right, that's good. I'm glad. It's nice to be a calm person. That's.
Honestly, I'd say that of all the sort of socially active groups I've joined on Facebook, Craig's probably the most laid back guy.
Really?
Yeah, when I joined, I can't remember what the exact name of the group was because it's since been, like, pruned. Ian Marcus Davis, he's a cool enough guy when I've talked to him, but, like, he gets drunk a lot and flips his shit. And that was a whole Gamergate thing, though, which I don't think Anti-SJW is actively Gamergate supporting or anything like that. More like a place where you can just chill and be like, yo, these people are crazy.
Well...
It's a very related issue, so I think that Gamergate is officially endorsed by the group. It's in the group tags, and in the pinned post there is a list of YouTube channels that are related to Gamergate. So
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to like when it first kind of started, I was like super into it, and then over time it just kind of dwindled away for me. Not that it was like, oh, we're being overrun. It's just like, okay, I think we've said what we had to say. We've taken off some advertisers. We've done things here. We've gotten vilified by the media, of course, as always. And every now and then things will keep spurting back up because like the Teal Deer did that one poetry video that's been going around lately. That fucking poetry woman. I don't know if you guys want to watch that. We can, but.
Any of you guys know about Dr. Randomer Cam?
Who?
Dr. Randomer. He's like a. Yeah, he's part of the Honey Badgers. He's a pretty cool guy. He's not widely known in these kind of circles, but he does really good stuff.
I think I've seen him.
Quite like
Sargon.
Quite like how many anti-SJW people are British as well, by the way.
Oh yeah, I know, right? It's Teal Deer, Sargon. I love.
Yeah, Sargon.
I don't know. There's something about Teal Deer's snarky, kind of uppity voice that I just love so much.
Yeah, that and
sounds a little snobby.
Not just that, the fact that his little title card is literally a teal deer.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's one thing.
Well, that annoyed me because I wanted to do a logo for him, but He's already got a good one, so I had to leave
Yeah,
it.
you did fantastic artwork. I freaking love that back page on the the post. That's hilarious. Like those are all pretty spot on. I think my favorite is still the Melody, the PTSD where she's wearing the uniform with the Twitter. That's pretty
Mine
good.
too. It's one of my favorites. Yeah. I think it's that face just right.
Anyways, yeah.
Where are we all from? That is, I think, a relevant question at this point, because I personally come from California, the most liberal state in America. And we could get a sense of the political climate where everyone's from.
Oh well, I mean, I'll be talking about my own college campus later on the show.
Oh shit! Yeah, if we get into why we are anti-SJW.
Yeah, that'd be good too. But I know Craig, you're from the UK. Where in UK are you from?
I'm in Scotland.
Oh, you're in Scotland. Okay.
Nice.
I don't have the accent, but I am a purebred Scot, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay. Nice. And then Glebs, you mentioned earlier, but Ricardo wasn't here earlier. I guess can we call you Ricardo? Is that okay, or should I still call you?
I usually go by Rickie, but
Okay, Rickie, got it.
Yeah.
All right, Glebs. So sorry, I interrupted you there.
Oh, okay. I'm from Latvia. Not many people probably heard about this country. It's not remarkable. It's small.
It's the land of the lava lamps, apparently.
Lava lamps. Yeah, what the hell, man, dude? You love your neon lights, don't you? That's crazy, though. It looks good.
I have a soft spot for these useless but kind of cool devices. Psychedelic feel.
Fair enough. I buy way too much, percussion. So.
As a ignorant American,
An ignorant American.
region of Europe is that country located in?
Well, it's northern Europe, not far from Denmark.
Okay.
And well, not that close. It doesn't have a border with Denmark, but it's pretty close. And also, it's near Poland, Ukraine, Russia, this region.
That's. Are you technically considered part of the Eastern European bloc?
Yeah. Well, no. You mean like when NATO versus Eastern European bloc? Well, yeah. Actually, Latvia used to be a part of USSR.
Yeah, that's why I thought Yeah. Was it still called Latvia back then? I don't know. I'm really poor.
It was a Latvian republic because USSR was a federation. Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's one of the Baltic states, along with Lithuania and Estonia. So it's on the Baltic Sea.
It's my my geography is atrocious, but it's mostly because I do study a bit of history. Well, I'm a computer science major, so I focus on that kind of stuff most of the time. But I study a lot of history, but mostly the history I study is classical Roman Greek history. I'm a huge fan of that kind of history. I've done a lot of research into that. That's like my not really expertise area, but that's where I mostly focus a lot of my time researching. I find that looking back at the traditional democratic kind of systems that spawn the Western Western state is very interesting and can provide certain insights on what we're going through even today. With
something that I find extremely fascinating, even though I wouldn't say that I research or study it. Talk to anyone. Like, just make a friend who's Eastern European and from, like, the former Soviet bloc, and they will have some fucking insight on the type of shit that you hear nowadays in America, like how we should police thought and or subjects because they are not appropriate to the conversation. And just...
Wow.
Like, if you ever listen to interviews with Daniel Vavra, or I may be mispronouncing that, Vavara, the guy who's game developer, he's making I cannot remember the name of the fucking game.
Oh, you know what? That sounds familiar now.
Gamergate, yeah. And he basically essentially told SJWs to fuck off like immediately when Gamergate started, and said you can't censor what I'm putting in my games. Communists tried to do that. It led down a dark path. What the fuck are people doing?
Well, we'll probably be going into Gamergate and all that. But one thing I really wanted to talk about, and I figure it's a good thing to just jump into. I'm going to share my screen here. Is, well, I'm sure you might have already read this post, but just this is quite the thing. You guys read this?
How are there nearly 19K people still in this group?
Oh, it's about this polyamory group?
This is this polyamory group, and it's all these people and all the things they have to say throughout it. The rules serve to be inclusive to marginalized groups of people, as well as centering their voices. And I want to get there's some. I mean, a lot of the comments are just insane. Honestly, these people go off on this woman just for, pretty much most of the time, like, asking questions. That basically the entire group has become about following the rules, and this one, whose fault is it that working to be inclusive hinders the flow of communication? Probably the people who aren't following the rules in the first place. I think this group has more conversation than any other poly groups have been in, because people in positions of oppression don't have to leave because every other comment makes them feel unsafe. Wait, hold on. People in positions of oppression don't have to leave because every other comment makes them feel unsafe.
So, does she mean that in other groups, every other comment makes her feel unsafe, and she just needs to quit the group because
she just can't
ignore these comments? Huh?
Yeah. Oh, I love this girl's 3 rules. Step 1, write the post as you're thinking about it. Step 2, compare the post to the rules and guidelines and adjust your words. Step 3, ask yourself, is it more important to have easy rules that allow people to feel unsafe because of who they are, or for you to double check the boxes? Yeah, it's easier to have less rules, and you can stop getting so fucking offended all the time. I mean, I don't.
Is this what's called the progressive stack?
Oh, this is. I think that. Yeah. So, I'm sure you guys are all familiar with the progressive stack for the most part. Yeah.
Well, the progressive stack. Does someone want to introduce the idea? Because I think it's almost embedded in the worldview of SJWs. Is if you're more oppressed than me, you get to say whatever the fuck you want. You get to say it first because I am a, upper class white person, and I don't get to say a goddamn thing, even though I might be more educated than you.
I kind of see it as what they imagine this sort of pyramid of oppression. They see, of course, upper white males at the top of it, and they see all these other people at the bottom, and they think, well, if we just flip that pyramid, if we just flip it and let those people talk, everything will be better, right? Because then it's equal. I mean, just flipping it makes things equal, right? That's how equality works, right? Because
no, that's how you crush the top of the pyramid.
But I
like
mean,
revolution. Those who were at the bottom become on the top and just do what they've done to themselves. It's so much better when.
Yeah, the people at the top
get
shot in the back of the head by Commissar Jamal.
There's 2 wrongs always make a right, doesn't it?
Oh, of course.
This is really reminding me of the Atheism Plus forums. I can't remember the
It's
exact
identical, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There was one specific.
They broke apart all of the infighting. The moderators were kicking other moderators, and basically only moderators could post.
Yeah.
It was insane.
There was this one thread on the Atheism Plus forum where this guy asked for a virtual hug, and he was chided by the moderator because he was intruding on someone else asking for a virtual hug and taking the spotlight away from their hug. And it was just... And he was like, I am feeling so oppressed right now because I can't get my virtual hug.
Oh, how about this part? Melissa Manning says in her post. Okay, it's okay. Let's pretend that what she's saying is not batshit insane for a second, but just read the post like if it was about somebody else. Yes, if what bothers you is determined guidelines of group you choose to join, call me crazy, but that absolutely seemed like the best course of action. So just that line, like it sounds like a normal thing you would say in everyday speech, but later let's get down to hold on. Where is it? I know it's here.
Definition of oppression.
What? Where is it?
You just went past it. Someone literally copied and pasted the definition of oppression.
Oh,
Like,
of course.
you're all fucking crazy.
Well, there was that one person who I'll go back to that in a second. I'm trying to find it where here we go. Did she say it again? Yeah, here I think she says it again here. Does she? No, she doesn't. But here, like Kylie, or no, Laura, Melissa Manning, crazy is a slur. Will you pick another word and edit your comment?
Censored.
Since where the fuck was
your triggers?
Sir, you were being ableist with that comment.
Where the fuck?
Not humorous, and I would like you to retract that because I'm feeling very triggered right now.
How does putting an asterisk in the middle of crazy make it like, okay, listen, they're not fucking 4-year-olds. They can see that that's the word crazy. We can all see that that's the word crazy. We're not stupid. Like, fucking, God, I don't.
And how do you bleep words anyway?
I don't fucking know.
How do you bleep something in text form?
Well, okay, that's
bleep.
No, you can't. Remember, we have to. Every single picture has to have a description with it, because blind people might be.
Every video has to be transcribed as well.
Transcribed.
Well, okay, what I'm thinking of right now is what fucking word would she put in place of crazy, like batshit insane?
No, that's probably also offensive to crazy people.
That is definitely offensive to crazy people.
And bats.
And I think that actually draws its roots from guano being used as a drug.
But then my thing is like, Melissa is like so like, she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. How do I edit it? Like she literally is just going for this, and then this, I'm letting that slide. Like she committed some fucking atrocity. Like she just told her boss to fuck off in like a workplace, and her boss is like, oh, I'm letting that slide, but don't say that again to me. But that's what Kylie does. I'm letting that slide, okay?
Hey, that one's worth 2 strikes. You got one more, and then you're fucking out.
Yeah, it's like, you need to stop using the CR-ZY word. CR*ZY. Stop that word. It's bad. I don't understand.
Ben bossy too. Ben crazy.
I just don't know what else. By the way, Philip, nice to see that you're here. I just noticed you had joined. I've been looking at this post. I don't know if your mic is on, Philip. Doesn't appear it is. But anyways, I hope you're enjoying the lovely sound here. Let's see. So this guy, all he does is say appreciate for being candid, stirred up some lively conversation, and he gets fucking banned. Oh, but because it's a closed thread. My bad. It was a closed thread because we gotta close off threads so people don't post them anymore.
I'm trying to see how many groups actually are about polyamory.
I tried to join. I was hoping that I would be added by tonight so I could just fucking go all over this place. I was almost hoping that I could convince one of them we're having like a safe space Google Hangout and come fucking join us so we can just talk.
And trigger their triggers.
Honestly, I think that'd be a little bit too fucked up.
We would just say normal things, but like that would to them be super oppressive, and I don't get how. It's like just all these posts are ridiculous. There's not much I can go through, but we could sit here and laugh at them all day. Where's that? There was the thing earlier that you were talking about. I mean, just this. The dictionary definition of oppression, or whatever, here.
Well, yeah, you don't know that dictionary definitions of something always apply, including.
Well, no, but here's the funny thing. Like this thing, I've seen them use this idea of the bingo card. Look at this. Checks dictionary definition bingo card, and I think that comes from. I feel like I've seen it before. There's like this like feminist bingo card where basically it's like. If I could give a short transcription of what it is, it's all of the different spaces are basically different synonyms for factual information, and so obviously if you're using factual information, that's incorrect.
Yeah.
So dictionary definition. Yeah.
Okay, so I was talking to this 15-year-old girl I met on. This was like a year ago on like Gaia when I was like 19 because I had no life and had just lost my job. And she was a standard high school feminist, and I was talking to her like. Okay, like the wage gap is bullshit. There's all these things that prove it, and she literally said to me, yeah, but your statistics don't change my mind. Your factual-based evidence don't change my mind. It's what I feel. I'm sitting here like, are you fucking kidding me?
At least she's honest.
Your lived experiences are not the experiences of every person on the planet. And not only that, she's never had a job, so she wouldn't really know it anyways.
Drama.
I feel like
believe what I was programmed to believe.
Wants to be oppressed because.
Well, of course they do. They don't. That's how. I mean, that's how they get the attention. That's how they make the money. That's how they. I mean, what would they have if they weren't being oppressed? What would any of them have?
They would be upper middle class, generally white people.
Yeah.
And usually, I don't know, cute in a hipster way, and that's about it.
And I've mentioned it before. You know, there's all of these, you know, women who have powerful positions as speakers, right? You have Anita Sarkeesian. You know, by powerful, I'm simply saying powerful as in they have domain over their people, right?
Yeah.
You have her. You have Rebecca Watson. You have.
I wouldn't say Rebecca Watson has all that much influence from what I've observed in the atheist community.
She does seem like she's going downhill. She used to she was big over when that whole stank over the Richard Dawkins comment came in. You know?
Even before the Richard Dawkins thing, she would literally go around giving speeches saying, "I'm a woman and I feel oppressed, and you need to listen to me because I'm a woman atheist, and you guys need to be less rapey." And then she got the perfect excuse with Elevator Gate.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. But like, anyways, in general, what I'm talking about with these SJWs is that, like, they, you know, like you said, they're all these you know, upper middle class white women most of the time. Upper middle, and it's like, if you really honestly believe that the voice of the oppressed is not getting heard, how about you give up your fucking views and your fucking channel? Put somebody else in. Put somebody else sit in for you.
Well,
let them sit in. Let them get your views. Let
that's
them
other
talk for you.
Mainstream SJWs at this point. They always go on and on about how women are oppressed and white women are the most oppressed people in the first world and fuck the third world and whatever it's equivalent. And then but
welcome Ali.
To topple the patriarchy and the existing power structure. Hello. Who's next? White women. White women are the next target.
they're the next target to be. I mean, if
they're the next, they are very next on the power pyramid.
If somehow they break our patriarchy ray gun, guys, because I know we got that whole thing going. You know, we can't.
We all got our cards, right?
Yeah, I got my power ring. You know, I'm set. You know, they're not taking me. But for some reason, let's say they find the the secret way to stop my ultimate misogyny, which I'll have very dearly in my heart.
Yeah, from your wet knees.
If they find a way to do that, then, like you said, they'll be at those middle class white women will be at the pinnacle of the society. They'll be at the top, right? They're the top dogs at that point. And then it's like a game of control almost. It's like they're just trying to see who can control more. Anyways, we should do a little bit more post talking as well. Did any of you guys have any posts specifically you wanted to talk about? I mean, there's tons of posts that we and there's plenty more that I know I've got lined up for whenever we decide to cover them.
We got any volunteers here? No.
Anything goes. I don't know.
All right. All right. In that case, I'll screen share for this other article. This was posted by David. David's another poster I really like. I don't know about you guys, but
I'm mostly sure.
Yeah, David posts a lot of good stuff, and this article is definitely one of them. Let me see if I can share. I'm still getting used to this whole setup thing. There we go. So here's the article. I don't know if you guys read this. This is kind of like that whole talking about them eating each other alive, which is very common for feminists. So this is funny because it seems like Jezebel's actually taking the side of the feminist teacher, which doesn't seem like a very Jezebel thing. I don't know.
No, it does not. It seems like the students would be more oppressed.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so feminist students protest feminist professor for writing about feminism. Now, if you guys want the articles on the SJW thing, it's like a few down because it's pretty. But basically, what ended up happening is it's like this feminist professor who did essentially what like Christina Hoff Sommers would do, where she basically says, okay, this idea that there's like tons of rape going on is like we're pushing the boundaries. We're over exaggerating the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so some fucking feminists, they started doing the same protest that what's her name did, Mattress Girl, the same thing. And first off, the teacher's like, okay, this is idiotic because I hope you realize that protest, no matter whether it was right or not, that protest was designed to be between student on student sexual assault. She specifically was talking about student and teacher sexual misconduct. And then after that incident, two female grad students filed Title IX charges against her because some essay she wrote. I
thought it was something like stare rape.
No, yeah, stare rape. Well, she's a female teacher too, which is like I said, they're turning on their own at this point. It's ridiculous. This is a feminist professor at a college. This is supposed to be who these women, basically revere, who they want to follow in the footsteps of. Because let's be honest, if you get a degree in gender studies, what other job are you going to get besides a professor in gender studies?
Clearly, you are deserving of being a CEO of a Fortune 500 country. Stop oppressing me, shitlord.
You could be a reporter for Time.
Oh yeah, go for it, Glebs.
There's someone on Facebook asking how does he join the
Oh,
fund.
somebody else want to join? Oh,
Yeah, he said that he's.
Yeah, Ali.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ali's in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ali's in here. Yeah, we're good.
Speaking
Good.
of the name Ollie, what you were just describing is very reminiscent to me of there was a Muslim student in, I don't remember what university he was in, but he was a part of the local student newspaper, and he wrote an article basically bashing liberals for whatever reason. I don't know the details too well. And people vandalized his apartment and said, like, get out of our country, because he did not agree with their progressive agenda. And those people still have not been taken to task by the administration. I mean,
Yeah, I just found the article. It's on Truth Revolt. I mean, I don't know how dependable that is, but it's something I could find.
Yeah.
Truth Revolt, I think I don't know if I've heard good things about them.
Just, that's definitely something I can see happening at the very least.
Let's see. Okay.
And then another one, which is verified. I watched the interview with this lady. There was a Somali immigrant in Sweden who tried to report on, I believe it was like a child molestation ring or something. And the other newscasters in her... I don't remember the word I'm looking for. I do this when I drink. Part of the same company as her.
Okay.
Channel. Basically said that she is not credible, you should not believe her, and essentially got her blacklisted from the industry. And she has since moved back to Somalia because she says she feels safer in Somalia than she does in Sweden.
Whoa. Safer in Somalia?
Yeah. Yeah, and she said, like, all my life I've wanted to be a journalism. I respect journalism. I love journalism. But the moment I reported the truth, I was
attacked.
Yeah.
I can see how the fuck, dude. Here, this is a picture somebody posted in the group. I just want to know what you guys' opinion on this. You guys see the whole picture, or is some of it cut off?
Yes, I actually do think so.
Okay. I mean, if we can just get everybody's yes or no, and then we can talk about why.
Actually, not abuse so much as rape, but...
Well, even false accusation of domestic abuse can land someone in prison and otherwise fuck up the life. So it's done either for revenge or for some benefits. For example, to get the custody of kids. Something in either case, it's doing harm. So if it's false, first of all, it will harm the innocent who is accused. Then it wastes taxpayers' money because investigation costs money, and the police could be doing something useful instead of investigating something that never happened.
To begin with, yeah.
Well, I think personally it all depends on what it ends up happening. If she's falsely accused the person, and this person spent jail time, equal jail time amount that time guy spent, right? I mean, he took you lied. He ended up spending an amount of his life in prison because of that, and so you should have to take the same amount of your life away for that. Or in a similar situation, I don't know what the punishment in most places for slander or libel is.
I think
if that it's probably like a fine or something. Because essentially that's what it is, right? I mean, falsely accusing someone in its own right, you accuse them, yeah, you have to go through this whole process. That's really not the concern. To me, the concern is just that when you get accused of something like that, as much as people like to believe we live in some sort of, rape culture where everybody, we're all against the victims and we're always victim blaming and slut shaming and all that stuff. In reality, it's like somebody tells you they've been raped and, and they say who, you fucking hate that person. Right? Everybody fucking hates that person. There's a witch hunt out to get that person.
Well, you're like, fuck that guy. I know that guy. I've never trusted him.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like if somebody's close to me. First, one thing I'd like to dispense. The big thing people always say, "What was she wearing?" I don't think people know. My father works in law enforcement, and you get a little bit of information when you actually know somebody who works in law enforcement about things work. That question, what was she wearing? People don't actually ask that. Police ask that. The reason police ask that is because they want to know your coherent understanding of the events and time around you. They want to see how aware you were. And they want to also know all of the details because sometimes the details are important. They're not judging you like, when you say, they ask you what were you wearing, and you say, oh, I was wearing like a short skirt. They're not like, oh, you fucking slut, you deserved it. We're not going to fill this police report out correctly. That's what they're fucking saying.
It applies to the whole questioning of a witness, or not just a witness, the victim.
Yeah,
SJWs and hardcore feminists, or modern feminists in particular, have this sort of mentality I've seen a lot when discussing this with them. They say, why do police question the victim? Why don't police question the accused? Dumbass, it's because the burden of proof lies with the accuser, and that's the way crime has always worked.
I mean, they question the accused too. It's not like they don't question the accused, right? I mean, like, if somebody were to accuse me of doing something, I'm here live on air. Might as well say I have been accused of doing something. I have been, and that was a shitty time because I had a lot of my friends who were uneasy about me. Because let's be honest. I'll stop showing the picture here because it's like, you look at me. I know I'm dashing and charming and very handsome, but believe it or not, there was a time where I kind of looked like a creepy person. Mostly because
How does
I was
a creepy
fat.
person look?
Well, exactly, but there's that stereotype, right? There's that stereotype of like the dude with he's got the beard and he's a little overweight and I just look kind of fucking creepy to people. Some people find me looking. So of course, somebody accused me of something. It's like, oh well, of course he did it. He look, it looks like a fucking creep.
Yeah, look at him. Like, how else can he?
So it's like, and I had to go through that situation. Luckily, we got it fucking taken care of quickly, right away. Got it dispelled. It's like the idea of when it apparently happened. I was like, listen, I was fucking here with my friend here and here and here. I was doing this and that. But there was still this level of uneasiness the entire time. That like the people around me still thought that I did.
I got a personal friend of mine with a story like that. Later on, if possible, we could have them join in and tell it.
Oh yeah, if they want to join, yeah, because pretty much what happened was because it ended up going because it was in high school at the time. It ended up going to the principal, and the principal calls us in. It's like he's talking to us, and it's like, okay, you don't talk to anybody about this, okay? We don't want things spreading around. And so I said, okay, of course, I'm not going to spread things around. I understand that. But do you think the other person respected that at all? No, of course not. Because, no. So what happened was nobody was hearing my side of the story. Everybody was hearing their side of the story.
well, what's
put
something
me in a real fucking pickle.
When you're the victim of crime, they generally tell you not to go around and tell people about it.
Yeah.
Specifically when you're threatened.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
That a lot on Twitter with not just Gamergate, but SJW.
Yeah, it's like stop fucking tweeting about them. It's like, listen, if you're being threatened, stop fucking tweeting about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, so that this brings into these questionability of like all these experiences. And then, of course, the SJW circular logic is that, you know, if you question what I am doing, then clearly you are part of the harassment and you're victim blaming and et cetera, et cetera.
You immediately agree with me, you are a part of the problem.
Yeah.
Instead of having healthy cynicism or skepticism.
It's like the fact that people deny the existence of rape culture proves that there's a rape culture.
Of course, yeah. That's it. I mean, that's
how convenient.
That all comes full circle into how I became anti-SJW. If we get into that,
why don't we? Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. Let's go around the little campfire here. Why don't we start with you since you were already on it?
Okay. Well, do any of you recall the Elliot Rogers shootings?
Yeah.
I go to that school.
Okay. We live in the same state.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I have friends who go to that school, and they are no longer my friends. They joined groups on Facebook like UCSB microaggressions and shit like that.
That's a thing.
So basically what happened is, what I didn't know, after all of us had finished high school and gone to college, I had dropped out of high school, done independent study, so I was kind of cut off from the group. But after the Elliot Rogers shootings, a good friend of mine, in fact one of my best friends, posted on Facebook, "This is why we need feminism." And it got like 42 likes before I even saw it. And I just commented like, Arden, well, I won't use his name, sorry. I'll fucking call him...
We're not going to have that many people watching, probably.
Okay. Yeah, I was just like, dude, this has nothing to do with feminism, don't politicize these deaths. If anything, this is about mental illness and how we need to have a better system of treating it in America. And I was basically told that I am human garbage for not agreeing. I am a part of rape culture. And weeks later, he told me I am the reason why people don't believe him when he said he was raped. And this was during a phase where I was getting into MRA stuff. And I'm like, I'm the only one who will believe you when you say that you were raped. And none of those people are my friends now. They all en masse blocked me and my other best friend, Alan, who were the only two people. Well, there was a third, who's a friend of mine now, who just said, look, you guys are kind of being hysterical about this. His murders had nothing to do with politics. In fact, he attacked more men than women and killed himself.
Well, you know, the idea was he was a little bit.
I'm not saying wasn't misogynistic. I'm saying society didn't teach him.
But it wasn't because, you know, it wasn't, oh, that's just, you know, he was misogynistic because all guys are made to be that way. No, he had a mental issue. He was a narcissist. He thought he deserved their attention. Normal people don't think they deserve other people's attention.
Yeah, I was
a narcissist.
People having read his manifesto, and clearly none of them did.
Yeah.
And they were just telling me like, no, you're wrong. This is rape culture. This is what,
of course,
our culture does to men. Teaches them to hate women. I'm just like, where the fuck are you getting all this from? And the only conclusion I can come to, because they were perfectly normal, if a little bit Tumblr heavy before high school ended, was that when they went off to college, they bought into the academic Kool-Aid that rape culture exists and feminism is completely necessary in our modern society. And I'm not saying that feminism doesn't have legitimate issues. I'm saying the ones that we focus on, like Shirtgate and shit like that, Storm, is entirely bullshit.
Quick question for Glebs and Craig. You guys can answer whatever order you want. You know, in America, the big thing with universities is that they have a tendency to have a liberalizing effect. Liberalizing in, you know, both a positive way because they open you up to new experiences, but also, as we've been talking about now, especially in America, you have this idea of, you know, putting trigger warnings on things, all that kind of stuff. Do you guys see that at colleges in your countries as well? Or?
Here we don't even have gender studies as a course at all, and well, liberalizing as in you know, the meaning that's what had before it was brutally quote unquote raped by people who just change the definition. Since when did liberal mean authoritarian and think like me or face the consequences?
What I mean by liberalizing is I don't mean the SJWism. That has become a part of the extreme. Liberalizing, like I said, most of the time it's a positive experience because what happens is people go there, they get exposed to new ideas that their parents maybe have kept them secluded from. I was lucky enough to never I had my parents telling me from a young age that I was raised into a Catholic family. It was pray to God, Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, all that kind of stuff. And then when I found out Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny weren't real, my next assumption was, well, God's probably not real either. They probably made him up too. That was just as a kid I thought about that. I don't know why. It was because to me God was at the same level as those other. They never made him out to be some super duper I think because it was more of a cultural thing for my family. And from that point on, I was able to diverge from my parents in a way that I didn't feel restricted by their ideas. But then of course when I got to college, I was still able to open myself up to new things, and at the same time I was able to see people take to an extreme. And that's what a lot of people, and that's what I think a lot of SJWs are really, is there are people who maybe they were so constricted in their life by their parents or by other people that they decided that the only proper course of action was to just take the absolute hardest possible fucking U-turn they could and go, back, but in their own way.
I wouldn't say that they aren't like that, but I would say that I have seen it personally in a different thing. Like specifically my friend who posted that status had a very accepting family. As far as I know, he came out to me the year before we started high school. And he said, like,
"Okay,
Ricky, I'm gay," and I looked at him and I was like, "So what? Like that fucking thing is nothing." Yeah. And I'm getting told that I'm a bigot and shit, and I'm just like, okay, man. My friend actually did send me his story because he can't join right now. He's out, but he's sending me the monologue of his false rape story.
Real quick, I still wanted to catch from Craig. Craig,
absolutely.
You have that same kind of effect at your universities too. Is that a?
Not trigger warnings. No, it's nothing
that's not
like that.
Well, Britain did have controversy against their whole huge incident.
You probably think so. You can see my age, but I was actually a mature student. I was at university very recently, and no, there's none of that nonsense. You do encounter feminists, but it's low-level stuff compared to what you see reported for the SJW sorts.
Yeah, I don't. It's funny. Sometimes America has the biggest extremes. We've got the hardcore authoritarian conservative people. We got the hardcore authoritarian, left SJW people. You just got this weird. I don't know, just kind of a mush of like.
Because we have a two-party system, so you only get to choose from one of two extremes.
Well, a lot of countries are very bipartisan. I don't think it's a specifically American thing. Bipartisan.
I feel like there's this sense within the general populace, or at least everyone I know, that both political parties are pretty much pointless, and they're just.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Especially because things just get filibustered and nothing gets done.
It's a lot of childish banter. I mean, at the end of the day, one thing we can learn about America. I mean, they literally teach us in American government class, which is they teach you that politicians, because I mean it's true. So at least they're teaching us the truth. Is that the politicians, the only thing they are trying to do is get reelected. That's it. That's what they're trying to do all the time. No matter what, the minute they get into office, they're in office, good. Now my goal is to get reelected. The only time they're not trying is if they can't get reelected. What are they trying then? Then they're either doing what they want or they're trying to get elected to something else afterwards. Whether it be any other position that they can possibly get elected to.
It's strange you're calling them the extremes, though. I mean, the Republicans and the Democrats hug the center ground so hard. Every election it's about 50%. Each party give or take a few percent, so they're fighting. They're so close to each other.
Well, they're fighting. They're fighting to get the middle ground because well now it's like what 30-something% of Americans are registered as independent voters. they have to fight to get the middle ground. But like you said, yeah, the parties are super similar. They're not really that radical themselves, but the voices you hear are the radical voices. The voices you hear are always the people who speak out, and that's not necessarily people who are members of the party themselves. The politicians themselves in the party are not necessarily that radical, but it's more what you hear. You'll hear somebody else speak out. You'll hear an Anita Sarkeesian, or you'll hear you'll hear what's the Westboro Baptist Church. And what you'll see people of the parties, like the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, either saying, yeah, I kind of agree with that, or just no comment, ignoring it.
Well, not even that. You'll see people of the opposite party saying, well, this person said this thing.
Yes,
so
yeah, of course.
Unless you all actively
they'll quote, they'll say the Westboro Baptist Church is all Christians on some of the left people. And then, of course, some of the people on the right will say, I don't know, fucking who's like a real douchey kind of left person. I don't know. Rush Limbaugh is, of course, every single Republican, according to the left. and
everyone who doesn't like feminist is Rush Limbaugh fan.
Of course, yeah.
Who doesn't like feminist is immediately a hardcore conservative bigot.
I'm a Rush Limbaugh. Who's the Richard Dawkins loving motherfucker. That's what I am, because that's what feminists say I am. So they must be right.
Yeah.
But
not the worst thing, no.
No.
So you are both fan of both Limbaugh and Dawkins. That's quite.
I'm actually a fan of neither, but I mean, actually, Dawkins isn't horrible.
The thing that's happening is crazy.
But yeah. Anyways, we're getting completely. Not that it really matters. Hey, Craig, we're getting off topic, Craig.
Craig, I'm moderator here.
I'm kidding, Craig.
By the way, as we were talking about this Elliot Roger thing, have you seen the video made by King Crocoduck about this whole thing and about how
this I have
was
not.
Hijacked by ideologues to push their agenda? Post in the chat.
I could definitely agree with that. Yeah. Is there a chat for this thing? Oh fuck, there is a chat. Oh shit.
Oh yeah, there's.
Check this shit out. Guess what we can do. We can.
It's kind of a long video, about 44 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then we'll I'll hold that off. We'll watch it some other time.
But it's great because in this video, a little bit of a spoiler alert. Oh. In this video, he shows people who just try to push the agenda and using this tragedy as
of course, yeah.
talking point, and he shows like those extreme literalist Christians pushing, those evolutionists, and they then shows tweets by Anita Sarkeesian and a piece of video by Lacey Green.
Oh. Well, and then I'm sure you have gun control people, and then you have this and that. I mean.
More gun control. There's gun control. We need God in classrooms, and we need more feminism everywhere. And
yeah, the question is, do we need 100 million more guns, or do we need no more guns, or do we need to have women telling everybody what to do, or do we need to have more male-dominated societies, or do we need to have less divorce rates? Who knows? Because at the end of the day, it's all really just statistics that we can base this off of. Hey guys, don't forget that Elliot Rogers played video games, so clearly this was caused by video game violence.
No, actually, after Elliot Rogers shootings, or I'm actually thinking of Sandy Hook, not Elliot Rogers.
That guy.
Sandy Hook played Mass Effect. There were people commenting on the Mass Effect Facebook page like, how could you cause this? Oh my god, video games are evil.
And then they found out it was actually his brother who liked the page. Yeah, I remember that. And then also, not to mention that Mass Effect is like, of all of the shooting games, is really not that bad. Yeah. It's also in fucking space with goddamn lasers and shit. It's like Star Trek.
Well, dude, I'm just waiting for the day that one kid shoots up a school. I'm not saying I am.
So, okay, yeah. Let's start that. Let's start that sentence again. But
I'm waiting for the day when someone who commits an atrocity is revealed to have played Spec Ops: The Line a lot.
Why?
You never played it? Basically, Spec Ops: The Line, you kill a ton of innocent people in Spec Ops: The Line because you're a soldier and your government tells you to. And at the end, it was like the game's like, was it really worth it? Do you feel like a hero yet? And you basically get to kill yourself because you've done such horrible things.
Oh, that sounds like a lovely game.
Uh-huh. Great game.
I mean,
It's one of those games which don't sugarcoat and show that sometimes you just can't win.
what is it? There's that game that people are getting really pissed off of, and it's like the game itself just looks like this sort of like emo teen boys fantasy, and it's stupid. Hatred. I'm sure you've seen it.
Oh, Hatred.
Yeah.
It just it looks. Honestly, I thought it looked stupid. Like I'm probably not gonna get it. It looks like a stupid game.
The trailer itself was so stereotypical and so bland.
Right. Right. Yeah.
This leather jacket and this, I just live for this moment.
And he's got his long black hair, and he's listening to like metal music, and he's in some grungy apartment.
So lazy.
It's like it's so ridiculous. But you know, and it's like everybody who knows that that's a total fucking satire of anybody who's into that kind of stuff. It's a satire. It's clearly a satire. But you know, but of course, what do people do? They jump on it like, how could you possibly let this game exist? Like, you know, like they you know, somebody should have banned it. Somebody should have. And honestly, like I said, I think the game's stupid, and I think if they hadn't said anything, the game probably would have failed.
Yeah.
Nobody would know. I don't think that many people now. Honestly, I think a lot of people are going to be buying it strictly out of spite of all the people who made it controversial.
Probably just to see what it's all about.
Yeah, it's like well, let's see what's so fucking bad out of it.
I recommend you all watch this. There's a video on YouTube called the Hatred Trailer Hug version. And
Go ahead, post it in the chat.
oh yeah.
How long is it?
It's like 1 minute and 23 seconds.
Fucking let's watch it then.
Okay, YouTube app.
All right.
Sometimes it feels like that these game companies like manufacture these outrages, and they have like, you know, trolls that pose as SJWs.
Absolutely, that's something that really did happen with what was it? It was Dante's Inferno or something. EA hired like fake activists to protest Dante's Inferno.
Really? I never heard of that.
To go around and march around with signs saying
That's
like,
fucking
"This is
hilarious."
dumb."
What's the video called?
It's called Hatred Trailer Hug version. I actually posted it in the chat bar.
Version?
Oh, I see it.
HUD version?
Hug, H-U-G.
Hug version.
Well, you can see in the chat.
But the thing I'm using doesn't want me to do it. Okay, here we go. I got it.
Well, if you excuse me, I'll be back quickly. I need to refill my cup. You can start. I'll hear from the kitchen. Oh, I don't need to refill my cup. I still have something here. You'll need to excuse me. It's almost 4 a.m. here.
Excuses. I don't know.
It's not like I'm a stranger to staying late. Or is it early already? We don't see the video. Huh?
Well, you guys don't see the video?
Oh no, I don't have the YouTube app open.
Oh, does everybody have to open it or something? Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
everyone has to open the YouTube app to watch videos at the same time.
That's
The
weird.
reason it does that is so that everyone can be perfectly synced at the point of the video you're at.
All right. Well, if you guys all open up the app, you guys know how to do it. You guys can. You know, I'll give you a moment while I.
It's a little red square with a white triangle in it on the side.
Oh, I see. YouTube.
Yep.
And accept.
Thank
I
you,
don't even know
Greg.
if it's going to be on the recording. It could be just like a minute of silence.
All right. Is everybody there?
I'm here.
I'm there.
Oh, okay. Okay. Anybody who wants to be here. What the hell is
I know what it reminds me of. Meet the Pyro from Team Fortress.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's almost straight rip, but it's great.
That's pretty good. Meet the Pyro is. I love the TF2 vids. Those are all fucking solid vids. Let's see. What was well, okay. I remember what we were going through. We were going through it slowly. You, Ricardo, you just explained to us why you became an anti-SJW.
Yes.
Your friend. Let's go down the line from my screen here. Craig.
Why don't we go Craig? Yeah, because he's the one who created the group.
Craig, I want to know how you became an anti-SJW.
I got into it by accident, really. I got involved in skeptics, or online skeptics movement, and it's a video that I've been meaning to finish for a long time now. The story behind it. It's nothing too big. Basically, I just encountered feminists who were just making skepticism about their body parts rather than skepticism. And it just all went from there. I mean, it involves tangentially people like Rebecca Watson. It's just Rebecca Watson acolytes who I was arguing with. And it's just all ridiculous. And I just saw it growing and growing, and it tagged itself onto atheism after that as well. And it just got ridiculous, and that was it, really. I've got no personal stories or anything. I don't know any SJWs in real life, thankfully.
Well, Craig, can I ask you a question? How hard did you laugh when you read the Atheism Plus mission statement and saw skepticism at the bottom of the list?
Yeah. I mean, everything they described was basically what you could call humanism, but just they put for women's rights, and that was it. Nobody else's rights, women's rights. I thought, egalitarian was like, how about human rights? You know, why exclude everyone apart from women?
Yeah, and that's why the men's rights movement has now changed it to men's human rights movement, because if you're part of the MRM, you're a horrible monster.
Well, it's like,
yeah,
I mean,
they did that quite a while ago, didn't they? They added human to the end of men's rights. But for me, I'm just like, why mention men?
Yeah.
Either? It's just human rights.
Yeah, yeah. The whole idea of the thing was the big thing feminists always do is it's like, you know, why is it called feminism if it's, you know, it's like the word means equality. No, but it's equality for everyone. It's like, but you clearly focus. I mean, you have to understand how clearly you focus on the rights of women, right?
Well,
because let's be honest. If you look at the popular feminist campaigns that have been on TV, first off, you have Stop Violence Against Women, domestic violence against women specifically. You have manspreading, okay? You have ban bossy. All of these things clearly targeted towards women, but they say no, but we're for equality for everyone too. It's then where are your advertisements for the other side? If you really were for equality for everyone, where is that representation?
Men have already everything, and
of course we have. You're right. I forgot. I forgot to check my card, my privilege card.
The way I've put it in the past, it's like taking white pride and saying it's for racial equality. No. You can't say feminism is equality for both genders, and it's feminism, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
It's like white pride. It's great for everyone.
Recently, though, they have sort of changed that. If you'll talk to, like, an SJW now, they'll say, like, well, yes, feminism is about the rights of everyone, but it focuses on the rights of women because women are the most oppressed.
That's where, you know, it's like that's where I disagree. It's you know, for me, because here's what it comes down to. When in the legal system, the original ways of feminism, which were designed to change legal equality, which was, you know, civil equality, which was the idea that under the law people are equal and there were inequalities there, they fixed those issues, yes. By civil equality standards, women were not as equal as men. Now, in today's society, what are they trying to fix? They're trying to go for social equality. The problem with social equality in any situation, no matter what you're talking about, race, sex, gender, doesn't matter, is that when it comes to sociality, sociality is not like a bar. You know, people have different spheres and different stereotypes and different things about them. You can't say that one person is worse than the other person.
Oh yeah, my favorite
You
place.
can't make those comparisons. They're just different. They're different types of things. They're different people with different problems. You can't say my problems are worse than yours. My problems are worse than his or hers or theirs. That's ridiculous. They're different problems.
Well, I think objectively you can say that the plight of someone in the third world is actually much worse than the plight of me in the first world.
That's not a social. That's not. That's
a social contained within a small community, right?
That can even be. That's to the degree of civil, because people in third world countries, there's laws still against them from doing certain things. That's still civil injustice. We're talking strictly about social injustice, which is, stemming from this entire idea that there's some sort of, magical patriarchy that is overseeing everything, that's causing women's downfall, apparently.
God, I wish there was a patriarchy. I would worry about rent.
If you took a black woman who is a lesbian and in a wheelchair and asked her which of those traits gives her the most problems in society, it wouldn't be her gender. It wouldn't be that she's a woman.
Mm-mm.
Women don't have it worse. There are other things that...
Yeah. In that situation, I actually don't know. Honestly, if anything, it'd be a wheelchair because, fucking stairs, man. But I've spent some time in a wheelchair, and that shit, it's not like people are like, oh man, you spend all the time in a wheelchair, get to fucking ride around everywhere. That's no fun, Being a crippled person is not a fun.
Well, it's not fun, but say your grandma has a bad back and you wheel her around the local shopping mall. People think you're a really nice person for it. You get a lot of numbers. It's nice.
Turns into a chick magnet, does it?
Yeah. It's like, oh, dude. It's like, oh man, look at that guy fucking wheeling his grandma around. He's so fucking hot. God damn, I want to tap that ass after he's done wheeling his grandma.
You wear the shirt here. It says, read that.
What? I eat ass? God damn it.
Never watched Filthy Frank.
Oh, Filthy Frank. I've seen a little bit of Filthy Frank. Not too much. He's a weird dude.
Yep.
He's a weird dude.
I'll tell you what though, you wouldn't be much of a chick magnet if you then wheeled your granny into the KFC and then she breastfed you. Definitely lose cool points in that one.
Yeah, I only wear this shirt because it's got kanji on it. I only wear it when I'm going down to the local ramen shop.
All the time I just... What is it? I mean, my biggest thing was I had this well, I guess if we're talking about chick magnets, is I've got this, like, little chihuahua, just like tiny, but he's not like one of the stupid chihuahuas. He's like half chihuahua, half
I thought you
dachshund.
were going to say something different apart from a chihuahua when you said you had something little.
Great.
No.
Fucking great. No, I got this little chihuahua, and he like sits up on my shoulder like a fucking parrot. So he'll sit up there, and I'll carry him around everywhere, and tons of attention. Just, oh, he's so cute. Spending like half an hour there. It's like, all right, yeah. So. But like he said, that just there are ways to nullify that sort of attention.
By wearing a shirt that says "I eat
ass." Yeah.
Well, I figured this was going to be a professional.
Of course.
Thing,
of course, yeah, no. You put on the right clothes for the event, really.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we got Craig. We got Craig's journey to SJWism. We have Rickie's journey to SJWism. Philip, is your mic working yet? I'll take that as a no.
That is a resounding no.
Resounding no. Glebs, Glebs, why don't you tell us how you became an anti-SJW?
I don't remember. Did they tell you that there are not many SJWs here?
Yeah.
Actually, I know a couple of feminists, maybe. Kind of SJW-ish, but generally people either don't know if there are any or what's this all about. Those who know usually don't like it. So I was blissfully unaware of all this shit until, well, my introduction to this whole ordeal was Elevator Gate. And when I first read on Facebook about Elevator Gate, I was like, am I reading it correctly? Maybe I'm not translating it right. Nothing happened. Why are they discussing non-events?
Welcome to American media, my friend.
Yeah.
And
I thought Shirtgate was way worse. Like, that was just stupid. That was
okay, at least Elevator Gate had, like, something. Like, okay, there was controversy there. With Shirtgate, it was just like, what the fuck are you doing? It's a complete double standard. They constantly rail on about women being oppressed and not being able to wear the clothes they want, and how you shouldn't judge a woman for the clothes they wear. And then they could turn around and do the exact same fucking thing.
It's quite a thing, man. It's you know, those events. So I imagine that's what kind of like just seeing those sorts of non-events occur. Like why is this on my fucking, you know, my daily newspaper, or why is this in my fucking Yahoo News? Like, it's invasive, isn't it? It's like, people think like they don't have that much influence. Yeah, okay, they don't really have that much influence. They're not passing a shit ton of laws, but they're invasive in everything that we do culturally. That they're just pushing through. They're trying to push this weird ass agenda, and it doesn't make any sense. Like you said, a lot of non-issues. Just like, what the fuck are you talking about half the time? I don't see why this man wearing a shirt that one of his good friends made for him when he landed a fucking comet on the moon was really that important. What, like, not
a comment on the moon?
Sorry, I don't, dude. Like I said, no, it's actually zero. What happened was I had a Lord of the Rings marathon last night, so I haven't slept since 11 a.m. Friday.
So I got you beat. I was smoking and drinking in a cave in the middle of the woods.
Okay.
Last night.
Well, you already had an advantage. You were smoking and drinking.
Yeah. It's nice having your own personal cave with a fireplace, though. It's really
I have no substances to.
Well, I lost my lighter, so I'm kind of fucked right now.
So you have a literal man cave then, yeah?
Yeah, literally a man cave.
Literally.
And I know for a fact it was built as a shelter because the way it's put up, because I didn't build it myself. Dude. And it's got a lighter embedded in the wall with a Vault Boy from the Fallout series.
Fucking, what are we doing here? We could all have our own fucking safe space now. Come on, let's go. Let's all go down to Rickie's safe space.
With Play-Doh and the videos of frolicking puppies.
Yeah, you better fucking get that Play-Doh, dude, or I'm gonna be triggered as shit. I cannot believe that was I cannot believe that was a real fucking thing. I don't really believe that was real. I still think that was a parody article. I still think that was like, I'm like, every time I look, I'm like, am I reading something on The Onion right now? This is on The Onion. This isn't fucking real. These people literally decided we need to treat ourselves like 4- and 5-year-olds to feel better mentally about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's how low they do. And they think this is psychologically okay. They think this is how you work through your issues. Like I've said this on several posts before. I am extremely hemophobic, and that word sounds very similar to another word that's not what I am. I'm extremely hemophobic. You know, I get a bloody nose and I'm looking too much, I'll fucking pass out. I get a slight paper cut, I'll pass out. Somebody starts talking about blood on a fucking video chat, sometimes I'll pass out. But then sometimes I can toughen through it. And, you know, I try to because I'm getting more resilient to it. And I'm actually getting, you know, I'll get like a fucking cut on my arm and I'll be like, no big deal. I'm starting to actually get resilient to it.
Oh, yeah, I should.
So you started watching Tarantino films then, yeah?
Actually, you know what's weird is because, so it's not like, the whole hemophobia, it's not like I see blood, it's like, blood, I'm scared. What it really is to me, like, if I look at it, it's like, oh, that's no big deal. And then all of a sudden my brain starts, like, I slow my heart rate, I'm losing blood flow to my brain, and I'm like, shit, I'm about to pass out. And then I pass out. It's not even, like, it's not something I mentally control, it just happens. With video games, with films, nothing. Fake blood, my brain knows. Which is what makes me think that I can overcome it. If my brain can handle fake blood, why can't I handle real blood? Which is why I continually try to work through it. And sure, every now and then, yeah, I fucking pass out. Yeah, it's fucking scary. Yeah, I don't like it. Oh, boo fucking who? But I'm getting over it. The whole point is I'm working through my problems like an adult, because that's what adults do. And these people.
So I'm just picturing you sort of passing out, so banging your head or something, and blood comes out of you. Then you come to, see the blood on the floor, pass out again. it's a continual loop of you passing out until waking up again.
So most embarrassing story I've had. Not like no, there was one story like that when I was younger, but most embarrassing story I've had because the condition is actually vasovagal syncope. It's actually the hemophobia is just and see, this is why I hate that feminists use this word, because now I can't use the word seriously. It's a trigger of it. Really what it is it's one of the possible causes of it. The other possible causes include things like an extreme sharp pain, usually, like something, or an extreme amount of pressure if accompanied with usually holding the breath. And I don't know if any of you have ever had a day where your dietary system isn't working correctly, so sometimes there takes a certain amount of extreme amount of pressure to make certain things happen. Well, long story short, I passed out while shitting. I was trying to take a shit. I fucking just dropped.
Okay,
no fucking joke.
You've fallen asleep on the toilet at least once.
No, this isn't falling asleep.
Whether it be due to alcohol or
This is me like attempting to exert myself to remove the fecal matter from myself, and then just blacking out, literally blacking out, and I don't know why. And
I hope you don't have. I tell you what, I hope you don't have hemorrhoids, because if you sort of looked at your stool and there was blood in it,
it's like, oh shit, fucking off again.
Literally, oh shit, yeah. Can I ask, does this happen with menstrual blood as well?
I don't often look at menstrual blood, so.
Free bleeders will
If you're in a relationship, every 28 days could be a bit dodgy. Or if you're near any feminist artwork.
I've been either lucky and or unlucky to not have been in a relationship where that has been an issue. So I don't.
I'm actually wondering what would happen to you if you went to like a feminist art gallery and saw like a big painting.
As a joke, I've told them like, hey, listen, you need to fucking warn because this is triggering to me. Like literally fucking triggering to me because I don't just have a panic attack. I fucking pass this shit out like I'm on the ground. And so, but like I said, I've come up with ways to deal with it. I know that if I start to feel faint, I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna lay down on the ground. I'm gonna stick my feet up. Boom. I'm good. I'm totally good. Or if I think I could work through it, I'm like, nope, I'm just going to close my eyes.
Sounds like
totally fine. I will fucking deal. Like, literally, I don't get how it's, listen, it is a challenge. It's a challenge in the same way that.
But challenges need to be overcome.
No, but it's not even like a really, really hard challenge. It's a challenge in the same way that like somebody puts a plate of food in front of you when you're really fucking hungry, and they say wait 10 minutes to eat is a challenge. And you're like, oh fuck. Or when you go to like a fast food restaurant and you got the bag with the fries there, and you're like, I want to wait to eat till I get home, but the fries are right there, and I really want to grab a fry. Like that kind of challenge. That's really the level of the challenge. It's not like super difficult, but I still got to work through it. But I don't get oversensitive. I don't tell teachers like, hey, listen, you need to provide trigger warnings when you're going to talk about blood, because otherwise I'm gonna pass out.
Well, let's be honest about trigger warnings in education. I am of the opinion that it's a way to skip work. This material is triggering to me. I can't read it. I can't do my report on it.
Sorry, but my brain still my homework jokes in my head. Imagine you were drafted into the army. That'd be an easy out, wouldn't it?
Oh, with the blood thing? Oh yeah, no. I'm told. Like I'm set for life for a lot of things. Like my parents really wanted me to be a doctor, but this kind of like I'm like, no, I can't do it. It's like can't do it. They're like, I'm sorry guys, can't, not gonna happen. Man, other things that have happened like similar to it. And yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right about the SJWs thing. Like it was one. I hated my biology class in high school, and we started talking about the cardiovascular system. We were watching like videos and shit. And I was like, I just couldn't handle it, so I actually got to skip class a couple days. And I still ended up doing all the assignments. It wasn't like I was skipping work. I just didn't watch the stupid fucking videos that everybody hates anyways. So yeah, benefit, sure, but it was the kind of thing that it was like, okay. I'm not trying to say that my case is worse than theirs. I don't know. Sure, maybe they do have fucking panic attacks. I don't fucking know. Or maybe they're just narcissists and they really don't have any problem with their life. Who knows? But you know, for me, it was just something that's happened since I was a kid. It was like one time I used to fucking love the sight of blood. I used to watch my mom, you know, when she donated blood.
I used to watch Goosebumps all the time.
Goosebumps, bro. No, but you know, I used to actually really like the sight of blood. It was something fascinating to me. My favorite color is fucking maroon, for Christ's sakes. I mean, look at the shirt I'm wearing. I wear blood-colored shit all the time, yet somehow blood is my biggest, you know, issue in life.
Well, I mean, when you really think about blood, it is gross. It's all spurty and shit.
Well, you don't have to go there, my friend. No, but you know, so it's just how things. I don't know. Maybe I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe their problem is worse than mine. But even if it was worse, I still think they can handle it like a grown fucking adult and take some initiative. You don't need everybody else to do shit for you.
That feeds into the whole millennials thing, like the entire mindset of millennials, where you get a trophy just for participating.
Yeah. Everyone is a winner.
Everyone is a winner.
Feel left out.
I never had that shit. I'm half blind. I never got to play sports.
Speaking of which, this reminds me about, you know, when people who have real PTSD, one of the symptoms is their attempt to avoid anything that can remind of this traumatic event at any cost. So, and when Melody Hensley was triggered by Twitter, while she hasn't skipped a single day, she was every day on Twitter, which triggers her.
That's interesting. Wow.
Are we talking about Melody Hensley, the girl who still goes on Twitter even though claiming that Twitter triggers her?
Yeah, because it's basically her work. She works for Center for Inquiry. They hired a feminist at the position of power in a skeptical organization. Listen and believe.
I mean, imagine if your entire fucking place of work was triggering to you. So for like me, imagine if I was forced to work as a fucking doctor, or I don't know. Imagine if you like had a deadly fear of sharks and you were forced to work at a fucking aquarium in like the fucking Shark Tank.
The birth ward at a hospital.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I mean, like, just basically, it's almost like she acts like she's forced to do what she does. Like, oh, I have to go through this every day of my life. No, you make life decisions. You make life decisions, and with these decisions, you decide what you do.
Well, that's another whole thing that feeds into the whole feminist mindset. It's the lack of agency in a victim. Victims never are at fault for their own, and I'm not saying that rape victims are at fault for being raped. I'm saying there are measures they could take to prevent it. But, no. Like, back when all those students at, I want to say it was a university in California, who made that anti-date rape nail polish. Who protested it? Feminists.
That's a thing? What?
Yeah. It was nail polish that changed color if you dipped your finger in your drink and it contained date rape drugs.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Rallied against it. They said it was part of rape culture.
Wait, what? I'm sorry. I gotta fucking Google this shit, man.
Yep. Yeah, look up date rape nail polish. They were saying that it is offensive and oppressive, and it's the proof that the patriarchy exists, and women shouldn't have to look after themselves when it comes to rape. Basically, like the Anna Akana video, where she was making jokes about rape and how women shouldn't have to be the ones to look after themselves, that men should be the ones who shouldn't rape.
Well, so what I'm noticing so far is it looks like that the original post was a hoax, but there was still controversy on it. Like it looks like nobody actually like really
made nail polish.
Well, let's see, but I'm trying to look for the let's see. Empowering women to protect themselves was a person's thing. It was like this comment made by Undercover Color. We wanted to protect us. The team won a competition earlier. Undercover Colors. Now we're going to PDID. Let's see. Oh, I'm trying to look for the why rape prevention activists don't like the new nail polish. Let's see. Group of 4 college students taking the media by storm with the development of an innovative nail polish that can detect date rape drugs and then slipped into young women's drinks. You probably guess captured source of headlines. Sexual assault prevention advocates warn that it's not necessarily the best way to approach the sexual assault epidemic. Okay, let's see why. The response isn't products that promise to help women detect the colorless, odorless roofie drug have become more popular in recent years. More broadly, anti-rape tools to help women protect themselves. Products typically get a lot of press and are sometimes hailed as complete breakthroughs. Activists working in the field are convinced they believe innovations like anti-rape nail polish are well-meaning but ultimately misguided. See, can you tell me why? You keep these paragraphs. I fucking hate you.
Because they are a part of rape culture. They are part of a society that accepts rape as a thing that is, I wouldn't say plausible, but...
Okay, here's the paragraph. Women are already expected to work hard to prevent themselves from becoming the victims of sexual assault. They're told to avoid wearing revealing clothing, travel in groups, make sure they don't get too drunk, and also keep a close eye on their drink. Okay, first off, everybody's told to do that for the most part. I'm not the revealing clothing thing. I mean, but I don't. I still don't go walk around without my shirt on my fucking skivvies.
Occasionally, if I'm taking out the trash, I won't wear pants, just boxers.
Well, that's because you're an oppressive shitlord, and you need to check your fucking privilege.
Reminds me of this image. There was like a guy dressed in this mascot of Monopolia and with fake golden chains and stuff like that. Still not asking to be robbed.
Yeah. Well, it's like, yeah. I mean, and there's this idea. That it's like, travel in groups, make sure they don't get too drunk, and always like that's a lot of hard work. Yeah, that's so much fucking hard work, dude. Like, to ask your friends to walk with you places, to drink responsibly, to not just set your drink down and walk away. A lot of hard work.
And like
so much energy, though.
Says, I am afraid of getting raped, and she is a decent male friend. And she asks him, will you walk me to blank? Generally, the answer is yes.
I don't know when I've ever told somebody, no, I'm not going to walk you. Walk your fucking self.
Yeah. I may have done it once when I was jerking off, but other than that, I'm good.
Well, the other thing, and it's like, and if anything, it's, somebody's like, oh, I can walk home. I'm like, seriously, it's for my comfort, your comfort, and also, it's like we're both heading in the same direction. Let's walk back together. I'm not trying to fucking say that you're a weak person, you can't handle yourself, because statistically, if anybody's going to get assaulted on the street, it's going to be men. We know that's true. They get robbed more often. There's more violent crime happening to them by strangers on the street than there are to women. Specifically, if you're a skinny, more scrawnier man. So, lucky for me, I'm 6'6" and I'm like 300 pounds. Usually, people don't try to mess with me. So, good news there.
And besides, let's not forget that the incident that gave the name to Sleeping Mickey, it wasn't someone roofing the drink of women to rape them. It was a bartender who roofied the drinks of men to rob them, basically. So
really? I didn't know that. That's interesting.
There was this guy, Mickey Finn.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he was roofing the drinks of... in the bar, those who will sit in the bar for too late, where no one else is there, so nobody sees what's happening now.
My favorite thing was speaking of like the idea of roofies. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen the show Arrested Development, but the fourth season that Netflix made, there was this big joke about a roofie circle where the one guy he takes these, he calls them forget-me-nows, and he takes one, and then the next morning he wakes up, forgets he took one, so he takes one, and then he just keeps doing that, and spends like he loses track of like 3 months of his life because he forgets every single day. It's just it's a pretty funny show. They if you're into like a sort of comical humor that builds on itself, it's like every single episode they'll have like repeated jokes and they'll have things that come back all the time, and you'll be like, oh, I remember that from that episode, and like, holy shit, that's hilarious. And the details are insane.
Rick and Morty is a great fucking show.
I've never seen that before in my entire life.
Oh, it's so good. There's one point which is actually pertinent to this conversation.
Okay.
Rick is a genius mad scientist, and his grandson is Morty. And he's like, your sister works for the devil, because she's literally working for Satan, who's running an antique shop which sells cursed items. And he's like, he sold me this microscope, which if I used would make me retarded. He's like, Rick, I don't think you're supposed to use the word retarded. And he's like, I'm not disparaging the differently abled. I'm saying it would literally make me retarded. But she's like using retarded is now ableist and therefore discriminatory.
Oh, of course.
You're actually describing something as retarded.
It's like slow, like the word slow. I mean, like retarded means slow. It means something slow. I don't.
Yeah, but it means something is below a certain threshold of intelligence.
Yeah, just make sure we don't talk too much about blood because I might African American out. It's not good for me. That's the socially acceptable term I've heard. African Americaning out.
Yeah.
I
list of
basketball
colors.
Americans, but that's getting up there.
Basketball Americans. All right. Before I mean we've been talking for a long time, so I want to get through this. Okay, so we talked to Red, Ricardo, Glebs, Ali. Is it Ollie or
Ollie? Yeah.
Ollie?
Ollie, yeah.
Okay. If I call you the other, you're gonna get triggered. Like if I call you Ali.
All the time. It happens to me every day.
Fuck it, I do it. I can tell by that butthurt cream post. So how did you become an anti-SJW? Tell us your story.
Well, it started when I watched the Tumblr feminist video, and I saw Chanty Binks bitching out on that guy. That was classic. Yeah. I loved it. So I started going deeper in, what feminist rhetoric. Started, seeing what they wrote, and then I came onto Gamergate, the Wikipedia page onto Gamergate. I have no idea how I got there, but I started looking at different things. I saw Zoe Quinn, Brianna Wu. So then I started, looking on YouTube, see if anyone made a video about it. So then I found the Internet Aristocrat, and I watched his What is an SJW? And that was very informative. He's very on point with his definition of a SJW.
Well, I'd just like to say Internet Aristocrat is very on point with a lot of things. I think he was a journalism major. He talks about it in some of his videos.
He was also really on point with his girlfriend in one of those Google chats.
Oh yeah, you didn't know? She got gay on 6 black dude. She's dead. He buried her in the backyard. King of Bull confirmed it.
Fuck that. Those guys are crazy. I stick with the no drama dudes. Like Internet IA's got some interesting stuff, and his Medicare account's pretty cool too. He's got those videos about like the non-SJW stuff, just like the crazy dentist, and then the pedophile dude.
Well, I
those are good videos.
Really stoned and watch his playlist back when he was Jim81 Jim or Good Games Good Me Bad, when he would just like troll people on YouTube. Those are really great videos. They're not informative or anything like that. They're just fun to watch.
Yeah.
Back at those.
Okay, so Ali, is that your whole story?
So I started watching him, and then Sargon was in the related video, so I started watching Sargon, and that's really it. I just trying to watch some commentary to put on the background. That's
really.
Yeah, it's not a very interesting story. It is what it is.
That's okay.
I think I'm the only one who has not told my story yet. Yes. All right. I mean, it's a pretty. So, it actually started with there was this guy at my school, and I didn't realize how much you couldn't say about certain things until he started saying things. And let me explain because I'm being very vague. Basically, he's this big Asian dude, and he was pretty much like I guess you could say he was sexist. I don't know. You seen that guy, the guy who says like men are better than women? Like he specifically says that. Like he's a show.
Does that?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That he's basically that guy. Like he's the same guy, right? And so I didn't agree with any of his points, but it was like I've always respected free speech. It's like it's like wow he's kind of an asshole, but whatever. I mean he's saying what he wants to hear. And then I would hear the responses to the things he had to hear, and then I started realizing how much like you weren't. It was almost like you weren't allowed to talk back to people who were feminist. And this was my senior year of high school. I'm a freshman in college now. So this wasn't that long ago. Yeah. I started realizing how like little you were able to talk back to feminists without them making a huge fucking deal about it. And things started escalating, and he had like a YouTube channel, and the school made him fucking take it down because his videos were deemed they didn't like it or something along those
And
lines.
they reflect horrible.
So yeah, and it's like I didn't agree with any of his ideas really, but what I did agree with, was the idea that he should have free speech just like anybody else. That he should be able to say what he wants, and sure to a certain level, yeah, the school says, oh, this is inappropriate and that, but the fact that so many people freaked out and like he couldn't share his opinion, and then from there it evolved. So that was kind of just what sparked it slightly. It was just like the pilot light turning on just a little bit. There wasn't really that much there. Then Gamergate started. And I started noticing Gamergate stuff, and it was really just, I was, pro Gamergate. I was like, yeah, it's like, I fucking love my games. It's like, what the fuck are you trying to do with my games? And I saw Anita Sarkeesian's videos, and I'd seen her video a while back. I was like, this is stupid. I hate these. And then I read all this other stuff, and that wasn't really me being anti-SJW. It was just more, pro Gamergate. And I was siding with the Gamergate stuff. And then all of a sudden, that's when I got into, like, there was all those like really kind of over emotional videos, and that's when I got into Teal Deer, Skeptor, those guys. They're very logical guys. Really, they don't. Those guys. What they do is they focus more on just you are just completely ignoring the facts here. You missed that. You just skipped over that. You're trying to make an appeal to emotion here. Stop that. They're really kind of like factually driven guys.
Yeah, I really appreciate rationalists on YouTube.
Yeah. And so that kind of stuff just really got me into it, because I've always considered myself to be more of a logical kind of person. And yes, my emotion comes out every now and then. And then once again, also connected with my exploration of me being a very classical historian, I grew kind of fond of the idea of stoicism to an extent. The idea of devoiding yourself of essentially emotion and focusing strictly on what you can logically understand to interpret the world and be a much happier person. And it, for the most part, I mean, while I still struggle with devoiding myself of emotion like every other human being on the planet, I've definitely noticed when I take a look at a situation, say, what am I about to say about this? How do I feel about this? And then I say, hold on, take a step back. Now think logically about it. How does this make sense? I interpret things so much better. I have a much more clear view of the world. And, it's really the opposite of the SJW idea, which is that, you can't talk about it unless you've experienced it. The opposite is my thing, which is if you've experienced it, you already have a bias emotionally. And if you can't separate yourself from that bias, then you should. Not that you should talk about it, but just
psychology. If you've experienced something, then you're already biased.
Well, of course, yeah. Yeah, so I try to separate myself from all of my biases, and yes, it's very difficult. I will not say I'm perfect. I will say sometimes I am a hypocrite. I'll be like, oh, you're not separating yourself here, and somebody else will be, oh, but you didn't do this here. It's like, oh yeah, you're right, I didn't. But that doesn't mean it's the same way. Your father can tell you don't do something, and you're like, but Dad, you do it all the time. He's like, I don't care what I fucking do. I want you to be a better person than I am. So how about you fucking do it the way I say? Yeah, which is pretty much how my dad instructed me in a lot of things, which I can appreciate. It's like, yeah, he gained bad habits over his lifetime. He recognizes that they're bad habits, and he's trying to fix that in me. He's trying to make sure I don't have those. Good. That's good. That's how society improves. That's how we move forward as a culture. But SJWs just think, no, if you don't emotionally understand where you're coming from, you can't possibly get it. And it was just all of that overpowering emotion. Like they cannot separate themselves from how they think they feel. They cannot separate themselves.
It's an appeal to emotion, and it's a quality of outcomes, not a quality of opportunity.
Oh yes, of course, yeah. They expect an equality of outcome from the equality of opportunity, which is just not the case. Simply not the case. And that's I mean, that right there is half the problem of the quote unquote wage gap, which is more like approximately 7%, as we found out. And a lot of that can be accounted for certain factors, and then some of it can be accounted for the fact that women don't ask for raises as much.
Speaking of which, we have not plugged, even if this is a small thing. Maddox is amazing.
Maddox, I think I've heard him every now and then.
Oh yeah, you should watch up his video. It's titled, I think, "How Every Company Can Save 23% on."
Oh yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, I saw his thing. Yeah, every company can save 23%. All you got to do is just hire women because then you pay less. Yeah, that makes more sense, right? Yeah.
The best argument against the wage gap is, well, just ask someone. You don't need to provide statistics, just ask. Imagine that you are a business owner. You can just hire all women, save on wages, and as women can do, especially office jobs, you don't have to lift something heavy. Saving. Why don't companies do that? And I've seen AJWs either try to ignore the point and steer the conversation away from the topic, or say something extremely stupid, like mind-blowingly stupid.
The biggest thing is, like, you know, the biggest argument against that I've heard is, you know, it's like, why would a company would never do that? It's like, that's not true. Companies do that all the time, i.e. illegal immigrants. They will purposely hire illegal immigrants so they can pay them less. That is what they do. A company does whatever they can to pay the least amount of money to make the most amount of money. So if it is true that you can hire women and pay them less, they will fucking do that.
Well, okay, what it is, like, a lot of liberal-minded people have this, at least where I'm from, you know it too, bear type shit. Even though
it's because in California, liberal-minded to you know, the average person means like more of a radical person.
Yeah.
Here the average mind is pretty liberal already. I'm a pretty liberal. You know, I would consider myself on average, and you know, I'm a proponent. I agree for gay marriage. I am okay with transsexuality, as long, you know, if you legitimately have the mental disorder and you feel like you need to be the other sex, yeah, okay, that's fine. It's a mental disorder. I understand that people have mental disorders. You know, if there's other things that go, you know, there's other things that go on. I understand that there are social injustices against certain types of people. I understand that, yes, poor neighborhoods are more often targeted, and I understand why they're more often targeted, but definitely there needs to be some change involved with that so that we can stop continuing the cycle of, well, poor people commit more crimes, therefore we go arrest more poor people, which leads to more poor people in jail.
African Americans commit a very overrepresentative amount of violent crime.
Well, it's completely, and it's completely based off of the fact that you know, I'm not going to say that racism doesn't exist, because that's a stupid statement. That's like saying that there's not someone in the world who thought Hitler did the right thing, because there's at least one person somewhere on the planet who thinks that.
I make that joke all the time.
If only there was only one.
If only there was, yeah, there's probably way more than one. Exactly. I mean, we definitely have a lot of. It seems like we have a lot of anti-Semites. Not a lot, but just enough anti-Semites. I'm not really in that situation, but the Jews did 9/11, as we all know. So.
Oh no! This fuel can melt steel beams, man.
I forgot about that. All of this is, of course, true, but.
I was getting at something, though. In where I'm from in California, at least people my age, also have this idea that corporations are inherently evil.
Oh, of course.
And they're not. They're not moral or immoral. They are amoral. They care about profits, and that's it.
Yeah.
If doing something good will get them more profit, they will do it. If doing something bad will get them more profit, they will do it.
Yeah.
It's risks versus reward.
It's because to them the idea of seeking profit above all else in itself is not moral.
Yeah.
It's not a moral thing. So then they view them as inherently evil. It depends on your moral compass. If you view seeking profits as a moral bad, then yes, of course, all companies are evil to you.
Which is hilarious to me, because a lot of SJWs are like upper middle class hipsters who have
I mean, fucking fund my Patreon right now, guys. That's why you're all here on this Google Hangout, to fund my Patreon.
At the very end, you're gonna be like, "I saw blood. I'm having a heart attack."
I'm fucking. You guys are all triggering me right now with all of your, like. There's that fucking red lava lamp at the back of your thing, Glebs. That looks a lot like the BL * D, as the crazy lady would have put it. Sorry, crazy is an offensive word too. I'm just going all over the place today.
Oh yeah, you really need to censor.
I need to pray to the privileged God tonight.
Okay, well,
sorry, God automatically implied masculinity. I'm sorry once again. Oh God, I'm saying God all the time, and it's implying masculinity. Oh no, what am I gonna do?
Okay, so can I get on to my friend's false rape story? Because I know that it is very representative of the shit we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
Personally, you were? Yeah. So he typed out a monologue for me to read.
Monologue. All right. Are you gonna speak it in like a Shakespearean accent or something? Or?
Absolutely fucking not. I
Okay,
wanted to
thank
do
you.
a British accent because I'm horrible at it.
Yeah, we have a British person in the room. I was Scottish. Scottish.
Oh
Born
yeah,
and raised.
don't get
Born
those
and raised.
confused, dude.
Your
That's
accent.
turn.
Who
No, I'm
heard
both.
Shakespeare?
Are you both?
Well, it's like you saying, "Oh, you're from California, aren't you?" It's like
I
you
am.
saying, "Oh, yeah, I'm Californian, not American." Well, no, you're both. So
Okay, well, because British is the over-encompassing term, right? I
I
get those.
thought English was the specific, like, you're from Britain, you're English. I didn't know for certain though. Anyway.
Can you- hold on. I need this clarified real quick because I'm going to make this mistake for the rest of my life. So England, the country, Britain, is inclusive of Scotland.
Britain is a country of countries.
The country of countries. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
We've
cunt of cunts.
Short video that explains it quite nicely, actually.
Really? Oh, thank you, Glebs. All right, perfect. I'll take a look at that, and I'll check my privilege later.
Sorry, could I just interject here? I've got a question for Glebs. Glebs, Americans, they talk a lot, don't they? I'm sitting here waiting to interject and get the odd word in, but it's just like stream of consciousness and American accents. So I just sit here just like with all my thumbs. I think
Those colonies.
Yeah, Craig's like the leader here. We can't just fucking. Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm a guest.
I'm very well known. It's not an American thing. It's just a me thing, and probably a Rickie thing too.
I think it's an outgoing type of thing, honestly.
It's the reason I agreed to do this. I do a radio show locally here at the local radio station, so I like to hear myself talk already.
Mm-hmm.
That's just...
I personally enjoy the sound of my voice.
Can I just sort of backtrack to something you said a little while ago that just got me... When you said about transgender being like a mental disorder, you know there's body disorders as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, imagine you woke up tomorrow morning and you're a female. Your brain was completely male, and everything about you just feels male, but your body was female.
Yeah.
That to me, I'm not saying all transgender people are like that. Perhaps it is a mental illness for some, but I can't throw away the idea that it's all a mental disorder. That there isn't something there is just wrong with a disconnect between the brain and the body.
Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, there are definitely studies that show that someone who claims to be transgender, like their brain is wired as a female person.
Well, I'm gonna stop for a second. Glebs, we're getting some echo from your end.
Huh? I'll be switching my microphone off when I'm not talking.
Oh, okay. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. There's studies that show that people who claim to be transgender actually do have their brains wired like that of the other gender. But there's also a lot of data that shows even after transgender surgery, people still end up killing themselves at a much higher rate than someone who isn't transgender. And I think that's where the whole "it's a mental disorder" comes from, because you can physically harm yourself because of it. And a lot of people say that we should medicate them rather than giving into their delusions. I don't have a side on that. Anything, it's their body, they can do it what they want as long as they have the money to do it. I don't give a shit.
I want to hear a little.
I just don't think it's as clear cut as mental disorder is all. I mean, I'm sure there are some like that.
Oh no,
yeah,
it probably isn't. I'm completely oversimplifying in this case.
I want to interject 2 points. First point, you can't know. I don't know what's the main reason for suicide rate. Maybe it's the stigma associated with that. Let's face it, many people just view them as freaks. So imagine living like that for many years. You live like in body that you don't feel is appropriate to you, and then after you have the operation, people just don't accept you as So it might be, it is a factor. I know it's a primary factor in the suicide rates, or maybe it's something completely different, but it's still a factor, I guess.
That is absolutely a possibility. Yeah.
And the second point is SJWs like to label everyone as transphobic, but imagine they think that males and females have almost no differences. Their brains are identical, they think identically, so it's either that or someone can have a mind inappropriate for the body. So it's either that or that. Either there's no difference between men and women brain-wise, or you can have a male brain in a female body. How do they reconcile these?
Was it the statement, gender is a social construct, or you can be born the wrong gender? That was the joke. I think.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
guys looking
two buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the idea that we're born as like a tabula rasa, a blank slate, it's just insane. I mean, it's nature and nurture. Some things are societal and some things are hardwired.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm thinking. But biologically, our species, we are, we have male and female parts of our species, and that's how our species procreates and survives. So it's just in my personal opinion, if you're born with something that changes that or causes an issue with that, it's a mental disorder. It's a disorder of sorts because you're not born correctly. If let's say I was born with a penis that didn't, fucking shoot, sperm correctly, I would be born with a physical disorder in that case. Or let's say I was born without the desire to procreate, then I would say I had a mental disorder because it's biologically a function of our species. But that's my personal opinion as to what a disorder is, and I think that's where my idea of transgenderism being a disorder comes from.
Well, I mean, there's those cases where people are born with a tail because the spine it continues, and it's a body disorder. But can you imagine living like that, where your body was that fucked up? You'd end up in what you describe as a mental disorder.
Oh yeah.
You'd have life problems, which would be mental, obviously, but because of a body disorder rather than originally a mental disorder. I get what you mean.
So okay. So are you claiming that like transgender? Can you explain a little? I'm still having trouble understanding what you're. I think.
No, I think some people it's a mental disorder. Yeah.
Okay.
But I would say that with some, as is described, it's more of a body disorder than a mental disorder. It's a combination.
Okay. Yeah.
They do actually have a term for it. It's called gender dysphoria.
It's still disorder, though.
Or you have the Tumblrites who claim it because they want to be a bit special.
Yeah, well, that's the whole gender fluidity thing. But if you're really like transgender, like you feel like you're a woman trapped in a man's body, I believe it is considered dysphoria.
Yeah. Well, so you're saying that, but either way, you're still saying like it could be a bodily disorder, but it's still a disorder.
I mean,
where's
the wrong body?
Line between bodily and mental disorder? Usually, when something's wrong with the mind, it's for example, the neurotransmitter levels aren't correct because of some developmental anomaly, and it's still a physical. Basically.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
And keep in mind, I mean, unless you're a dualist, you'll appreciate that the mind is a part of the body as well. So even a mental disorder is a physical body disorder.
Because often with transgender people, it has to do a lot with sometimes the level of testosterone or their the level of estrogen, and that's physical right there. But people consider it mental because of how those things affect your the chemical flow to your brain and how they affect how you think about situations and how you interpret things. But yeah, I agree with you. Technically speaking, it's all a body disorder in that sense because it's all a function of the human body working. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, plus, as I say, my point is for some, it's a body disorder which ends up in a mental disorder because yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to go back to that. I see that sort of thing come up in the group all the time, and it's just I know there are some people who violently disagree with everything I've just said, but
Well, there's a lot of Polacks in the group who come in and immediately get kicked out because they just say like really offensive shit.
Polacks? You mean like Polish people?
No, Polacks as in people who browse 4chan or 8chan Pol.
Oh.
Pol?
Hang on, they don't get kicked out.
They don't get kicked out, they just leave?
Yeah, very few people are kicked.
Okay.
Yeah, Craig. I've never seen Craig kick
Yeah, I
anybody.
know you're really laid back.
Oh,
as
people have been kicked, yeah.
Have you
But, no, it's just...
What have you kicked people for?
Well, trolls. There was this very recently. It was a troll invasion where just they purposely were coming there just to cause trouble. So yeah, they all got kicked.
Okay, fair enough. That makes sense.
Oh, I remember like 3 days of just constant shit posting, like, you're all evil people, oh my god, how can you disagree with feminism, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and also the catch-all phrase is health of the group. I know that could be used as a totalitarian state to do whatever you like, but what's his name? David Brantley? Do you remember him?
Oh, I feel like I do.
Yeah, he turned every thread into a discussion about him. It just got. He had so many warnings, and just the end of it, no, you're gone. You're causing more trouble than. Yeah,
well, I apologize for saying that all these people get kicked out. I did not mean to.
No. A lot of people they post some shit and then they just leave. I mean, you're sitting there scratching your head, thinking, why did you just leave? It just seems very weird. But
because people disagree with you. Like,
so some people have this odd definition of trolling where they think that if they can do something and then make it so that you can't argue back with them, somehow they're some sort of victorious troll.
That's also how feminists operate.
Yeah.
In that essence, they block their comments, and it's like, now you can't argue with me, can you? Like, no, but I can call you stupid on another thread. But,
Okay.
Social justice warriors have joined the group. I mean, I don't think there's any still there. Although I know there's one's sock puppet account. Someone in the header image of the group has a sock account in the group.
Someone in the header image?
Yeah.
No way.
Yes, way.
Do you know which one?
Yes.
Are you going to say it, or are you not allowed to say? Is it like a trigger?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think it's funny. So I didn't kick them out. They're still in there. So they just sit there. I don't think they've ever made a post. They just sit there. So I don't know. I think
they're probably
a bit obsessed to see. I think they're probably very disappointed that they never get mentioned. Narrows the field down a bit. So it's definitely not Sarkeesian.
It's definitely not Sarkeesian. We've mentioned Melody and Shanty every now and then. We mentioned Lacey.
We haven't mentioned Easy Myers, who I feel might be the biggest candidate. I'm not making a physical joke about his size. I'm saying
a big candidate, yeah. But
yeah, even social justice warriors. I mean, if they keep stuff on topic and they're not sort of really causing real hassle in the group, then yeah, it's fine. They can stay. Every time they post something, they'll be mocked and ridiculed, but that's okay. Freedom of speech.
There was a mailing list similar to the Game Journal Crows, but it was for Atheism Plus, and Thunderfoot got on there, and he saw them shit-talking him, like saying like Thunderfoot is evil and we need to drive him out of the atheism community, and he replied like, guys, I'm Thunderfoot, right? And basically what happened was they thought he was the amazing atheist.
No, sorry, you got that. Sorry, you got that story very slightly wrong. He joined. Yeah, he joined the Free Thought blogs, as a blogger, and he got kicked very quickly. There's a discussion about people just being people at conferences, and he was deemed to be a sexist because he enjoyed having a drink and having a laugh with women and men. But no, this is really unacceptable. So he was kicked, he was removed from Free Thought blogs as a blogger, but they forgot to remove him from the mailing list, which all the bloggers get.
Actually, it's a little bit wrong still. The first was when first of all he was invited by PZ Myers himself,
Yes.
and as he joined, he was automatically subscribed to the mailing list. But some people didn't realize it and started talking shit about him outright. He didn't even post anything yet, and people already tell he's Islamophobe, he's a misogynist, and stuff like that. And he says, well, if that's the level of discourse, well, goodbye, thanks for all the fish. And yeah, they apologized, and PZ Myers said that he can write about anything. You have your whole like academic freedom. And you don't like something, rip into it. And well, he did, and he got kicked. But then actually he clicked the link he got the first time he was invited, and it still worked. So he got reactivated in the mailing list. So the quality. Great admin there. So yeah, and he saw. The funny thing is that the blog post he made that got him kicked was the most popular by far, and it generated ad revenue. They were discussing if they have to give him money he basically earned or keep it and don't give him anything. And he was in this discussion, and then he posted it. These are the people, and they were so outraged. How dare he? He hacked us and read something.
Yeah.
No, it
Accused
wasn't.
them of hacking them. Yeah.
I think the funniest part to come out of this was that they actually tried to organize like a hit against Thunderfoot in writing horrible things about him to get people to blacklist him from the atheist community, which he lost. I don't know the exact number. I think maybe a few
300 subscribers.
at most. I want to say 300. I could be wrong.
Well, he said in the video, in one of the videos, about 300.
Yeah, and that was it. That was the entirety of them throwing around their influence.
They were a loud minority, but a tiny minority.
I haven't watched Thunderfoot in a long time. Before I got into all the SJW stuff, I got into all the atheist stuff. So it was like a slow progress, I guess.
I think that's generally how it starts for most people.
And then you take a turn. You either go to the dark side with Atheism Plus, or you join the Gentlemen of the Light, gentlemen and women, because not your shield.
Actually,
the pyro earlier, and I feel like that's how SJWs see themselves. Spreading friendship and love and joy when they're really burning down everything around them.
if you think about it, the Jedi Order is kind of like a cult, where they take children away from the family, indoctrinate them, and to serve the, their cult. They need to be selfless and devote everything to the greater good, basically. So Jedis are like SJWs.
Well, then we'll go with the rebels and the Force then, because the rebels weren't really indoctrinated; they were just defending their home planet from people who wanted to make things a little bit more their way. Well, we'll go with the original trilogy.
Yeah, actually, wait. Let's not get into Star Wars lore. That's too long a conversation. So, the monologue of the false rape.
Yes.
May I start? Does anyone have any topics they want to bring up for him? Okay.
No, go for it.
Okay. Backstory. This man only became my friend after breaking up with this woman. She was actually...
Hello?
From her talking. So, when I was in my last year of high school, I suffered through a bad breakup with my ex-girlfriend. After I had arrived home from a camp counselor position, I came home to a shitty household and a shitty single life. It got exponentially worse when I found out my ex had begun texting people and sending people email dialogues that accused me of sexual assault. Close friends that I needed for support through this tough time turned their backs on me completely. I was left alone, facing depression and false rape accusations. I attempted suicide about a week after we had separated, and to my surprise, when I returned from the hospital, she had started dating a close friend of mine. She had made these false allegations to prevent people from labeling her a slut and instead label me a rapist. I was not only confronted by several of her friends about it, but also by teachers who had heard her side of the story, and though she never charged me, my family threatened her with charges of slander. I was cast out of everything in my school. Universally hated by teachers and students alike, I also began receiving messages via Facebook telling me I ought to have died, and I ought to have killed myself for having raped her. And as far as I know, no one ever brought this up or said she should feel bad about what she did. I knew the entire time that she's very manipulative, but I never thought she would go that far for something like this. But they had dated for like a year straight, so I guess breaking up with him was tough.
I'm glad it didn't go that far for me.
Yeah.
Dude, that's nothing. But, you know, things happen.
Never expect like a false rape accusation, or even a rape, honestly, to occur to someone in your life. And when it does...
I don't know, man. 1 in 5 or 4 or something. So, I mean, you should expect it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, dude, like 20% of the women I know, totally rape victims.
If he knew that she was manipulative, why did the relationship last a year?
No, I knew she was manipulative.
Oh, right, okay.
I thought that was part of your dialogue still.
No, I didn't talk to him when they were dating because she actively kept me from talking to him. Not that I made any attempt to. I guess I got drunk one night and like sent him a friend request on Facebook, and the next day she was messaging me like, "Why did you try to friend request him? He doesn't like any of my exes. What are you doing?" I was like, "Geez, I don't remember doing that. I'm sorry. I won't talk to the guy." But something similar happened when her and I dated, but there was no allegations of rape or anything.
Wait, you dated her?
Yeah, like 2 years before. There was no allegations of rape against me. She just broke up with me for some other guy. I knew she was manipulative. I did not think she would ever go to false claims of rape.
I don't know why people would do that at all. Like,
yeah,
and I think that's why it's so hard for some people to believe that that's a thing, because it's like on the surface level, why would you ever do that? You know, but also, I mean, it's not like it doesn't happen. It does happen, but I don't understand why people would even do that. Why that would be a thing? It's like there's got to be a better way you could get something. Make him get you fucking pregnant and pay you fucking alimony or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I'm not condoning that kind of behavior, by the way. That was not me saying, yeah, go ahead and do that. That's totally fucking cool.
Yeah, the last time I thought about having kids, I was in the pharmacy with my ex-girlfriend. Trying time.
But man, man, they really take the energy out of you, don't they?
Win sales.
Those SJWs. Well, you know, we've been on this now for about like what? We started at 5.
It's been almost 2 hours.
It's been more than 2 hours. We started at 4:30. It's gone. It's 2.5 hours now. About. We started. Well, we started a little later. But yeah, no, it's been quite a while. So I think if we want to finish up any little last stuff here, and then we'll you know, I think it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. And then if any of you guys want to come back next week, or hope maybe other people who listen or watch this, they want to join.
I don't think I should be on every week, as Craig aptly pointed out. Us Americans have a tendency to talk over everyone else.
I agree.
I would be happy to come back later. Just I don't think I should be weekly.
What I'll do is I'll next time I come on, I'll just have my mic on mute and I'll type everything I have to say, so I won't say that much. Because otherwise I'll just fucking piss myself off. I'm like, oh, my fingers fucking hurt. But yeah.
I'll get some Canadians on just to filter it down just a tad, you know.
That's true.
I actually do know a few Canadians. This could work.
Hopefully, well, not to sound. Well, hold on. I'm actually gonna put on my my super nerd voice. Hopefully next time we can get a girl on, guys. That'd be really crazy cool.
I totally could have invited my Australian friend, but
wow,
what?
A girl.
Her name's Joe, so it's weird.
Yeah. What? No, but yeah, no. I hope to hear more opinions from people, and maybe we'll talk about some more controversial stuff. We can all call each other, you know, you fucking Jew. Yeah.
Why don't we close with something related to the group? Like, Craig, where do you see the group going? Do you want to do anything with it, or what?
No, it's just think of it in gaming terms as a sandpit. It's just there for people to use it however they want to use it. There's no agenda, there's no purpose, there's no goals. It's just there for people to hang out and share horrible stories about SJWs and hopefully have a good time in between.
Admirable.
Well, I have to admit, Craig, I mean, you inspired me to do this whole shit in the first place, so thank you very much for being a cool dude.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks for doing this. I say I was tempted to do it myself, but yeah, no. I'm a lazy ass, so well done.
Thanks, Glebs, for joining us too. So glad to see you coming out, get some more of those opinions. Sorry for starting out with generalizing the time as if we were all American. Yeah, I know this isn't the best time for you guys. I'll maybe next time I'll be around lunchtime. I'll be having my lunch, and then you guys.
I don't sleep at night, so midnight works for me.
Thank you, Rickie, for coming on. I appreciate it. It was kind of an interesting thing, and thank you, Ollie. I know you haven't talked too much.
Yeah, I was just listening.
You're suffering. You're suffering from the same fate. And thanks to Philip, even though he keeps leaving and joining because his mic doesn't work. If you're watching it now, and thanks to anybody who's watching, I guess. I'm just thanking everybody, But we'll do this next week. Probably not the same time, but probably the same day. We'll see.
Sounds good.
Guys. Thanks, guys, for
Okay. Just listening it.
Ciao.